All right, guys. Hey, good morning. Thank you for joining me. The Soil Health Summit. Very good. Fantastic. I'm glad I'm with Sustainable Farmers Association because we were going to put on a lot of these cafes and talks next year. But this summit conference, Kent Salzberg and everybody else that was involved with organizing and putting this together, they nailed it. It was smooth. All the speakers were passionate, emotionally involved with the data they were giving, and they had quality data. It wasn't just a bunch of slides, of off the internet. It was all slides from their research. They had the financial numbers behind it. They had the nutrient numbers behind it. They had cattle numbers. I mean, they had it very well organized, very good data. They had it great. All the speakers were on time. In between speakers, they had a good allotted amount of time that you could have questions and answers with the presenters. You could go to other presenters that are already spoke or were going to speak and visit with them. The three farmers that presented there, phenomenal. Phenomenal. They just nailed it. Fantastic job. You had David Montgomery, who is a geologist, not a soil scientist or a farmer. And so it's pretty neat. He's got some books out there. And it was pretty neat listening to his story of how by just researching rocks and looking at the history of Earth, he stumbles into why are these civilizations having declining, and he was able to correlate over many thousands of years in many civilizations the decline of the civilization to the decline of their farming, and so the decline of the soil health. And so it's just a very well put together show. Jody Hughes had a great presentation, lots of good data. Farmers need to see that. So the farmers that are there wanting to learn, they're all worried about warming and drying the soil, fixing compaction, and return on investment. Like, what is it going to cost me to stop doing conventional tillage and to start doing this other stuff? A lot of great slides from several presenters bringing it home of the agronomics of it, fertility and the cash flow and everything. I mean, it was a lot of good data. Kristen Brennan from the NRCS state office, young gal, she had passion. Oh boy, did she have passion. She makes me look like a corpse. She was all sorts of wound up there. And just she had a few people give her a standing applause. And when she got done, we will get her on video this summer. Guaranteed we'll get her on video this summer. Got to meet a young man from Red River area. He's been going to these for a couple years now, really trying to get the foundation of knowledge. Now he's got the guts. Told his dad, hey, we're setting aside some acres. We're going to get this work. We've had 3-4 generations getting our tillage program working out. I need 10 years to figure out how to get the not tillage program worked out and how to get that ground to heal. And so kudos for him. I hope he starts a YouTube channel tomorrow. And in 10 years, we can watch his channel and just see him rolling around in the Red River Valley, driving through all his green and planting green. I gave him every person's name I could think of that is remotely close to him that can help him on his way. Cody Nelson from Soil RX was out there or down there. He was having just that's his job. That's his job, is to rely on himself to help farmers go through this transition. And if they're successful, then he's successful. So he's at all these conferences trying to pick up that one little piece of data to make him a better consultant. And so he's out there working hard for his farmers. He's over in Renville County. But Tom Peterson, the Minnesota Ag Commissioner, I got to visit with him for a few minutes. Then he introduced me. He pulled over Pauline from Tina Smith's office. Work with me, Seth. Just be patient. Pulled Tina Smith's office over and was like, you two figure this out. And so the gal from Tina Smith's office, got to commend her. She was there all day taking notes, talking to people, and she's taking it serious. But we had a good visit. I got to plea for East Central Minnesota. So if you're not familiar with East Central Minnesota, generations ago, when the counties were built over here, they just punched the ditches through farms and fields to get to the next ditch kind of deal. And so now you have livestock and swamps and stuff that are draining into these ditches, and feedlots and pastures that drain into these ditches. So the state recognizes East Central Minnesota as a high water, poor quality area. And but yet when they come out with grants, all the grant money, all research money always goes to the big dollar farms in the southern and western 2/3 of the state. Sometimes on some of these grant programs, our area isn't even listed as approved counties. And so I plead, like, hey, you're hammering us pretty hard on this water quality issue. You got to bring some funding up here, and you got to bring outreach and training to work with the farmers as well. And so I got the plea for East Central Minnesota itself, but then plea for no more regulations. We do not need any more regulations. We can do this farm by farm, because there is enough NRCS offices out there, FSA offices. There's enough people out there that if there is a field that is getting dirty water running down the ditch or creating snert in the winter, there's enough offices out there, there's enough outreach that you can go to that each farm on an individual basis as needed and be like, look, here's the concern we have. Here's a whole list of options you can implement to stop that. Pick one and start figuring it out, and keep working with them to get it figured out. There's no need for any more regulations. And she agreed. She's like, yep, that's great ideas. And so she wants to put together a ag committee, the senators, the governor, Tom Peterson, and some of the higher ups of the Minnesota Corn Growers want to come on the same day as well. And some of the folks from Sustainable Farmers want to come up and have a training day, like how high school teachers go to school to update stuff. Bring them up here, and she wants to have a training day and to see what a true stewardship sustainable farm looks like in the state of Minnesota, how it's working, the fertility management, the money management, all the different practices, because we have some strip till, we have no till, and you got a dozen different versions of cover cropping, and we have nitrogen management studies. And so, yeah, that's kind of excited. I'm excited. That is what I'd love to do, is to get to that, to advocate for the farmers and to help us out that way. And so, yeah. Hey, I think on that note, I will just leave it. Fantastic event. Watch for a Sustainable Farmer Cafe Talk in Minnesota, in your county next winter, because we're going to be putting a lot more together. And so, guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to go help Dad, and then feed my cattle, and then head to Nebraska.